Booming Thunder Radio, where we groove as the spirit moves. Yeah. Drawing the honey from the rock with the righteous Reverend Doctor on Booming Thunder Radio.
Hey, welcome back, mighty friends, to the show that will never end until the appointed time of our Father, yea, that no man knows that day or hour. Yea, I hope and pray for each of you this day that you sought first the kingdom of heaven upon your rising, yea, and the righteousness of a Son upon the earth, yea, with the raised right hand that professes and claims in the songs of Moshe and the song of the Lamb that we live forever in the kingdom of heaven upon the earth. For the word is true and sharper than any double-edged sword, mighty friends. Yea, the Take the Journey has rolled up into Nashville. Oh, it was just a late afternoon stroll down memory lane on the first day of the pagan month. Their electronic displays and their minds revealed to all the earth in this moment. Even when the Father and His mighty Son upon us, His blood in our heart and in our mind, we come to freely give into each and every one who repents and turns from the wickedness of Mystery Babylon and brings forth the good seed and plants it in the good ground. Yea, that the horses' reins can be carried along their side until they're ready to mount, yea, and ride upon the saddle, holding the horn with the left hand, with the right hand held up high. A yippee-ki-yay moment for us all. Yea, a young boy on his stallion. A grandest of all the greatest of grandfathers' heart, like my very own, yea, seeks to bless the Father of all of heaven and earth with this love and joy in my heart, seeing that moment in that young prince's heart and mind, and the love of the mother before his eyes that he does it all for. Yea, that the Father might smile. Well, while we were up and down Broadway in the faithful town of Nashville, Tennessee, when we went down the hill, we thought we were rolling up into San Francisco, till we looked up and saw the big spires like devil's horns looking up atall the AT&T mirrored glass structure, casting its shadow down upon us all. But then, at the edge of the mighty river, we turned right and were forced back to the left. And so we went down and stopped at a light by the old lazy river. And before my eyes, on the street, I believe it was First Street that goes alongside the river there. But you could either go to the right, which was Gay Street, or to the left, which was Church Street. So going to the left up Church Street was uphill the whole way. And if you went to the right, you just rolled right on down the hill into the old lazy river. I wonder which way we went. Well, we were forced left again, forced up atop the mountain to learn a mighty lesson from all the passers-by. Yeah, all the churches and all the old craftsman's work upon the buildings there was most magnificent and radiant. These mighty masters of the craft that raised these buildings of old. It appears that only those most magnificent ones of all will remain, because the builders of this age are laying waste, and their swords are upon the land there. And the land has opened itself up. I could not believe the degradation of the people's hearts and minds until I beheld the builder's work upon the land, and the gaping gash where the swords had been laid down upon it. And the people walked upright, but wicked in their way of disbelief. But they were beginning to understand wisdom that I saw within their heart. For they appeared to have a fear of mighty Jehovah, like a mustard seed placed within their heart and in their mind that very moment I passed by. You would think rolling down the highways and byways in a yellow submarine placard along every side would draw forth a casual glance from a passerby. But even with deep purple radiating the vibe at full volume as we rolled down the hill, they would not turn or say or even acknowledge the existence of the light that blinds them. Yeah, the ours, eyes. So, I found but one brother who came forward wanting to know what was that song you're playing? And I told him it's Deep Purple. And the name of it is I've Been Mistreated. He told me how much he really liked it. And I told him the reason why you like it so much is because it's the truth. And then I told him that he could have his everlasting moment this very day if he would just take the journey of everlasting and believe and have faith the size of a mustard seed within his heart, that the light turned green and I had to roll on by. But he thanked me and waved with his right hand, and he had a young brother along his side whose mouth finally closed as I rolled on by. So, this is the 40 lashes that came forth upon your backs this day, that the blood that each lash brings forth would be the blood of Yehoshua, yea, in your heart and mind, in veins of pure gold. The word of everlasting is from 2 Kings 18 this day. Are you ready for your everlasting moment, brother, sister, mighty friend, faithful disciple, Zadik, yea, merciful one? For there are no others but righteous and true. The rest, as the word professes, the kings of this earth are passing away. Yea, and heaven and earth is passing away. But this word everlasting upon the hearts and minds of men and women shall not pass away. For the word of everlasting that goes forth does not return a yield void. I stand everlasting on the word of truth in my heart, and I send forth these words into your heart, into your mind this very day, that they would manifest upon you at the Father's perfect time, and that your lashes would be willing, and that you would go and give yourself a willing vessel, a burning bush, a new wine upon the rock. Yea, like a corn kernel turned into a general. It raises and stands on the mighty rock for all time. Hezekiah reigns over Yehudah. Now it came about in the 3rd year of Hosea, the son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Yehudah, became king. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. Sometimes we do things in the natural, being led by the mighty Father's hand upon our heart, and we did not even know it. Yea, our whole life, until this very moment, he revealed it upon your heart. He did right in the sight of mighty Jehovah, according to all that his father David had done. He removed the high places and broke down the sacred pillars and cut down the Asheroth. He also broke in pieces the bronze serpent that Moses had made. For until those days the sons of Israel burned incense to it, and it was called Neheshtan. He trusted in mighty Jehovah, the God of Israel, so that after him there was none like him among all the kings of Yehudah, nor who were before him. For he clung to mighty Jehovah. He did not depart from following him, but kept his commandments, which mighty Jehovah had commanded Moshe. Hezekiah victorious, and mighty Jehovah was with him wherever he went and prophesied. Yea, and when I saw the hearts of all those in Nashville, my heart wept as I found myself in front of the old Opry House and the signs that says we own this country, and the Father revealed what that really meant upon the Smokies. And he told me to ride like the wind. And so we rolled from Nashville, but the wicked had their way with us. Their laughter in their hearts, their tauntings in the spirit, their arrows, spears, and slings thrust at us were all forgiven as we rolled right on. And now we are at the gate, just outside the gate, of the Super Collider CERN, a tribe of Dayan upon the earth. They worship a God they don't even know, and manifest ways of old in unrighteousness. Their technology is founded on wisdom of demons and not the trueness of the everlasting Father. These are what have been placed upon my heart. Forgive me for offending you all, but I do it only for the love within my heart, that you could be forgiven and walk radiant and magnificent and everlasting, not in a mechanized creation of a man, but in an everlasting glory of the Father that created this universe, that you yourselves profess come from the rock. I profess the same, but I know the rock, and all you do is microscope it. The crystals upon it have blinded your very eyes. The I and the R with your thee reveals the symbol of your work and your tribe and your deeds. And he rebelled against the king of Asherah and did not serve him. He defeated the Philistines as far as Gaza and its territory, from the watchtower to fortified city. Now in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hosea, son of Elah, king of Israel, Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. 2 Kings 17:15. 3 through 7 is the faithful second witness. In the end of 3 years, they captured it. In the 6th year of Hezekiah, which was the 9th year of Hosea, king of Israel, Samaria was captured. Then the king of Assyria carried Israel away into exile to Assyria and put them in Halah and on the Habar, the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes. Because they did not obey the voice of Mighty Yahovah their God, but transgressed his covenant, even all that Moshe, the servant of Mighty Yahovah, commanded, they would neither listen nor do. Invasion of Yehudah. Now in the 14th year of King Hezekiah, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came up against all the fortified cities of Yehudah and them. Then Hezekiah, king of Yehudah, sent to the king of Assyria at Lachish. Mighty Father, let a blessing from our heart be upon yours. Let the joy in your heart by these words is felt upon all the remnant. Let it be an awakening upon their heart, mighty Father. Let the word everlasting birth its seed. Yea, let their right hand and left hand fall to the ground as hulls of the seed that the root would pierce. Yea, and a netzer would rise from the crusted cracks of the earth. And we're I had a thought about another brother there for a second, so I had to take a cup of coffee. You know who you are. Yea, I send my blessing upon you. Yea, as the Father, yea, wills it in your life. Then Hezekiah, king of Yehudah, sent to the king of Assyria at Lachish, saying, I have done wrong. Withdraw from me. Whatever you impose on me, I will bear. So the king of Assyria required of Hezekiah, king of Yehudah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. Hezekiah gave all the silver which was found in the house of Mighty Yahovah and in the treasuries of the king's house. At that time Hezekiah cut off the doors of the temple of Mighty Yahovah and the doorpost which Hezekiah, king of Yehudah, had overlaid, and gave it to the king of Assyria. Then the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsaris and Rabshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a large army to Jerusalem. So they went up and came 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 to the new Jerusalem, having built the tabernacle of David and the tabernacles of their mind. The mighty Father, mercy seat, awaits the hearts of these righteous ones upon the earth. Yea, then that king he sent from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a large army to Jerusalem. So they went up and came to Jerusalem. And when they went up, they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is on the highway of the fuller's field. Yea, a bountiful harvest to be ate in the mystery in Isaiah chapter 20. Yea, worlds beyond in the hearts and minds of anointed men. When they called to the king, Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, who was over the household of Shebna, the scribe, and Joah, the son of Asaph, the recorder, came out to them. Then Rabshakeh said to them, Say now to Hezekiah, Thus says the great king, the king of Assyria, What is this confidence that you have? 2 Chronicles 32 and 10 is the faithful witness. Can I have an emet in a master builder's heart? You say, but only empty words. We counsel in strength for the war. Now on whom do you rely, that you have rebelled against us? Now behold, you rely on the staff of this crushed reed, even, yea, even on Egypt. Yea, my heart. I've never been to Memphis before. You know, we rolled up in there a few days back, thinking about the king of everlasting, not the king of rock and roll on the world that is trying to take you away from the real rock and roll army upon the earth. The Hanakot warriors of Silicon Valley, the lovers of truth more than their next breath, unknowable, yea, messengers of truth, yea, anointed as in the mighty angels above that rejoice in their breasts, in their hearts beat, in each step they take with the Father of everlasting upon their right hand and heart, that the mercy seat would be filled with the Father's Ruach. Yea, that the scabbard would always feel the blade. Yea, until the appointed time has come and the work revealed upon the hearts and minds of the righteous remnant upon the earth. Yea, mighty friends. Yea, the everlasting, the mighty rushing wind. Listen for it upon your heart and mind this day. I send it forth upon you all, now and forever, in the hearts and minds of men, like a sweet piece of Hebrew pie. Yea, a tender morsel of an everlasting mind upon the earth. Yea, behold, you have heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all the lands, destroying them completely. So will you be spared, mighty friend? Did the gods of those nations which my fathers destroyed deliver them? Gazan and Haran and Rezeph and the sons of Eden, who Telazar? Where is the king of Hamath and the king of Arpad, the king of the city of Sepharvaim and Hena and Ava? Where are they, mighty friend? Oh, let us pray. Pray always in the Spirit of the everlasting Father upon your heart, that in your own heart's words and lips honey will flow and teach you and all those, yea, that seek to bless the everlasting Father with their mouth and their heart, that he may come and sit in great mercy and grace upon their minds. Hezekiah's prayer. Then Hezekiah took the letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And he went up to the house of Mighty Jehovah and spread it out before Mighty Jehovah himself. Isaiah 37:14 for the faithful witness. Hezekiah prayed before Mighty Jehovah and said these words, O Mighty Jehovah, the God of Israel, who are enthroned above the cherubim, you are the God, you alone of all the kingdoms of the earth. You have made heaven and earth. Incline your ear, O Mighty Jehovah, and hear. Open your eyes, O Mighty Jehovah, and see, and listen to the words of Sennacherib, where he has sent to reproach the living God. Truly, O mighty Jehovah, the kings of Assyria have devastated the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire. For they were not gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Yea, wood and stone. So they have destroyed them all. Yea. Isaiah 44, chapter 9. Yeah. Verse 9 through 20. Isaiah 44, 9 through 20 are the faithful witnesses that receive and place the crowns upon their own heads and seek first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and then, mighty friends, go forth. Now, Almighty Yahovah, our God, I pray, deliver us from his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you alone, Almighty Yahovah, are God, our everlasting Father, revealed by our Father's everlasting glory, laid upon the hearts and minds of men, the word of everlasting. And may it remove, yea, may each one come forth willingly with a raised flap, and have a wanting of the 8th day to be circumcised, that the fire is kindled. Yea, that all that's hidden inside would remain a mystery unto the right hand of the Father. For it is the left hand that is foolish, that it is only once the flaps have been cut, yea, that the ship can set sail, yea, even dive deep in the water and go across to the promised land, yea, never touching the soul, never touching the dried earth again, having been raised up by it, by the standing of the waters, yea, the reed sea on either side of the right hand or the left. Mighty friends, our Father, mighty Yahovah, is faithful and true. His word is everlasting in a man's heart, that this man can go forth with the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and place it into each willing vessel, able seaman, yea, going in again and again for 3 years, learning the narrow way that we should go, never casting our pearls before the swine again. Everlasting, righteous, and true, that only the word everlasting and the Spirit that lives within each of us can birth the wombs upon the earth. That the new wine that was poured upon the burning bush, and now it stands as burnt embers, never coming to the flame of the fire again. That the power of mighty Yahovah would be known upon all the earth in this moment. A wanting, yea, a burning in the bush for the seed, the word of everlasting that would never come upon their wicked ways and their wicked hearts. God's answer to this prayer comes from our brother Isaiah. Yea, then Isaiah, the son of Amoz, Amoz, sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus says mighty Yahovah, the God of Israel, because you have prayed to me about Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard. This is the word that mighty Yahovah has spoken against them. She has despised you and mocked you, the virgin daughter of Zion. She has shaken head behind you, the daughter of Jerusalem. Whom have you reproached and blasphemed? And against whom have you raised voice and haughtily lifted up your eyes? Against the mighty and holy one of Israel. Though your messengers have been reproached, mighty Yahovah's son Yahshua, and you have said, with my chariots I come up to the heights of the mountains, to the remotest parts of Lebanon, and I cut down its tall cedars and its choice cypresses, and I entered its farthest lodging place, its thickest forest. I dug wells and drank foreign waters, and with the sole of my feet I dried up all the rivers of Egypt. Yea, have you not heard? Long ago I did it. From ancient times I planned it. Now I have brought it to pass that you should turn fortified cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were short of strength. They were dismayed and put to shame. They were as the vegetation of the field, and as the green herb, as grass on the hilltop, on the housetops, is scorched before it is grown up. But I know you're sitting down, and you're going out, and you're coming in, and you're raging against us. Because you're raging against us, and because your arrogance has come up to our Father's ears, therefore we will put our hook in your nose and my bridle in your lips, and we will turn you back by the way which you come, yea, which you came. Ezekiel 19:9 is the faithful witness. Yea, kicking the crust of the earth like goads. Then this shall be the sign for you. You will eat this year what grows of itself. In the second year, what springs from the same. And in the third year, sow, reap, plant vineyards, and eat their fruit. The surviving remnant of the house of Yehudah will again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem will go forth a remnant, and out of Mount Zion survivors. The zeal of Mighty Yehovah will perform this. Therefore, thus says Mighty Yehovah concerning the king of Assyria, he will not come to this city or shoot an arrow there, and he will not come before it with a shield or throw up a siege ramp against it. By the way that he came, by the same he will return, and shall not come to this city, declares Mighty Yehovah. For we will defend this city to save it for our own sake and for our servant David's sake, ye all the beloved. Then it happened that night that the angel of Mighty Yehovah went out and struck 185,000 in the camp of the Assyrians. And when men rose early in the morning, behold, all of them were dead. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and returned and lived at Nineveh. Isn't that interesting, brother? Yeah. You know, San Francisco was my Nineveh. I resisted that place going out west my whole life. That's why the Father gave me that red Volkswagen. And that I could ride up and down the Pacific Coast Freeway in the hearts and minds of men. Then he gave me this yellow submarine. And yeah, we were at the gate that eyes the whole earth, the Father said. Yea, George, yea, you need to save George. I still, yea, not like they do. I still look for the answer that's deep within, only revealed in part until the fullness of the everlasting glory has come in to a man's heart and mind. So it came about as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god, that Adrammelech and Sherezzar killed him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Ariat. And Esarhaddon and his son became king in his place. Yea, that the will of the everlasting Father, yea, be everlasting upon the earth. From this moment forward, yea, that the cup would be raised and that the Father's name would be sanctified upon the earth. And the everlasting glory would be as blood, living water in a man's heart and mind. So remember, mighty friends, remember this always. You too can walk radiant and magnificent in the everlasting glory upon the earth. You only have to believe. Have faith as a mustard seed. Humble yourselves and walk in ways of everlasting in the Word each day, seeking first the kingdom and His righteousness when you rise out of bed. Yeah, you get to those knees, both of them, and you pray, Mighty Father, everlasting one, strengthen me this very day to sanctify your name upon the earth. Reveal into my heart and mind your will in heaven, that your mighty Son's blood upon my heart can do the will upon the earth. Yea, mighty Father, give us our bread continually each and every day. Strengthen us, Father, to forgive all those who wrong us, knowingly and unknowingly. We need strengthening here, Father, the knowingly wicked against us places our hand upon the sword. Strengthen us that it would be your might that pulls the sword and never our own might, Father. Yea, lead us, none of us, into the ways of temptation. Let us pray each day to be saved and the spirit of temptation removed and cast away into the sea forever. Yea, and protect us from all evil always, mighty Father. That even though we take our 40 lashes in this moment, that our love for you and our repentant heart, we, with the faith of a mustard seed, open our womb and receive the word of everlasting. Yea, mighty Father, this dead child I lay upon it and breathe life into it, that its mother could pour the oil. Yea, that all the vessels brought to the widow, yea, that the widow's mite would be radiant and magnificent in the glory, the everlasting that she pours into the hearts and minds of those that have been raised in this moment. Yea, they raise from that cut stump blood upon their back of Yahshua, a crown of thorns on their heads, a repented heart filled with mercy and forgiveness. Let that be in your heart forever. Like Yahshua, doing only the will of the Father at his perfect time, revealed in the tabernacle of David. So these 40 lashes, mighty friend, have another reckoning The Father wrote these words from our very fingertips many years ago. I'm not sure how many, several years ago. I need to go back on all these things and turn on the dates when they were created, because they were, a couple of years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago, I think. This one is, Hebrew Pi is what I'm referring to. Hebrew Pi, Pi.com. It's like a private eye. Do you understand? It is the private eye. Because the pagan English corrupted ways around us all teach Mystery Babylon. Mystery Babylon, if you get into the word everlasting and dig, you get you an e-sword, an electronic sword. I got them on several of our websites. You just dig around in our websites for the truth, and you'll find the tools you need. Yeah, they're in the School of the Everlasting Glory. Get that installed, and then go searching for these things. And do word studies and searches, and you'll discover these italicized words. These are the veil placed before your eyes. Do you hear? Now you see those words, do not speak those, because those were words and things added by the translators. And a learned man sees the things that they were up to in their way. And it is revealed in the word itself that they placed there. You see the italicized words leaning what appears to the right would indicate that they are words that would give you a greater understanding to the Hebrew meaning of the words being translated. You see, this is Mystery Babylon's root. Yeah, this is the gospel that they preach, which is not too much dissimilar than ours, but there is no power in theirs, for theirs is rooted in the carnal mind and the darkness of demons that these carnal men believe they control. But our mighty Father controls them and will release them upon themselves at the most appropriate time when the Father says His will be done upon heaven and earth. So Hebrew Pi, Mystery Babylon, and a Hebrew Pi, a private eye, they look for the truth. And you can't find the whole truth in a translated word. You have to understand the Hebrew. And if you don't understand the Hebrew, then you have to trust those who translate the Hebrew for you, or find someone who can teach you Hebrew so that the Father, can reveal the mysteries on those letters and numbers like He has revealed them unto me. And I can't even speak it, Hebrew, but the numbers and the letters and the depth of the meanings and the sequence of those things that create the words of Hebrew, I have seen the wealth and richness and long to find a dear brother that would help me learn the holy tongue that I can read from Torah, a holy tongue with the anointed Son's gift and mind upon my heart. So today's Hebrew Pi is 40. Hebrew Pi, Pi.com. You go there, You look for 2 faithful witnesses in the menu. Scroll down and look for number 40. Now, if you're driving, don't be doing this. Y'all just listen. This is for the kings and the priests upon the earth that are in study hall of the everlasting school right now. Not the carters of the divine presence that stop and place their right hand and give a living word of life. Yea, that the sons of everlasting, the remnant, would come forth. Yea, leap forth. So the name of this Psalm 40 of Hebrew Pie, that once you go there, and for those who can't go there now, we always have a picture, a message from the Father. We read the message and record it, so that's there. And then the Father gives us some additional words, perhaps, and a song he puts in our heart. And the songs that he puts there, the Ruach overpowers us some days, and we just have to play them for you all. But the beckoning of the wheel, dare we say that this song that we play, we use the free use, that it would be as satire for an unbeliever and as truth everlasting, hidden in the lyrics and meanings of the words that this song has. So we're going to play it this day and test this copyright. For this word and this song comes from our Father's heart to teach, and that the scoffers of the earth and their lustfulness, their bent legs of lust, I give you a blue lunar butterfly is the picture. It's radiant, a magnificent blue butterfly. When I placed it there years ago, I had no idea other than the butterfly is the only creature upon the earth that I know that begins as one thing, creates a cocoon for itself, and then transfigures into a beautiful something else. Its DNA completely changed. The old way passed away completely, and the old way created the new way that now flies off. It's a spirit from a sign from heaven in the way of everlasting, of nature and the Word. So the sum this day is 216. The name of Hebrew Pi 40 is Be Transfigured. And here are the words that were written and spoke that very day, within the hour given unto us for this everlasting glory moment, again and again, for each humble servant that comes forth. Let each one receive and rejoice in the word everlasting. Be transfigured. Good is the veil that dangles before the eyes. It's as a closed door to those bound and outside. The tabernacle of revelation, where Yahovah breathes upon the bride, opens up the veil to spiritually see all the wonders hidden inside. A little book
is carried along each one's side. It's the thing that brings completeness to the sweetness of the scent of his bride. Righteousness and the kingdom are what resonate inside. The veil once was rent, a cutting open, a pouring out for those with eyes. Those that did not see used the tools to conceal what was inside. The resurrection was hidden, mocked, and despised. New rules for the tabernacle were then set before the blindness of their eyes. The signs illuminated brightly but fell upon deaf ears. The beloved enclosure became as a pauper and fell to the weapons that came against her. 10 utterances kept sounding, but they heard only the voices of rabbis and men. O mighty Mashiach, reveal yourself unto them. The time has now come. Let revelation flow through to them. Once paupers and weak, the ground is being plowed for the seed once again. Take the seed. Let the hull die in the old way of thinking. Seek to hear the spirit of Elijah sounding forth through Yahweh's apostles and prophets once again. The door can be opened, liquid light connecting heaven to earth at this time. A gimel, the poor man helped through the door by the rich men who stand as pillars alongside the veil, securing what is inside. Kneel down with the palm open. Scoop the living water flowing freely under the sky. Drink in this revelation of Torah. Let the clouds rain wetness upon your face. Be transfigured by the renewing of your mind.
Ye mighty friends, the mind is renewed. The old ways of thinking, the corruptedness of our sinful nature, our mystery Babylon designed to overcome and devour you, and you are forgiven for their deception upon your heart. Now you can be set free. The mighty Father, when he makes a new man, a real man upon the earth, he removes the wickedness of his ways and the remembrance of all his evil upon the earth. And he only remembers when his heart is filled with everlasting glory of the Word. He remembers only what the Father of everlasting and his Son reveals into his heart and speaks from his lips. And his tabernacle burns with fire, but not from a crusty old bush anymore, but a new covenant of new wine of everlasting. Yea, each of us as brides for the bridegroom to enter into and dwell, that we can dine with him forever. Yea, just this one day, mighty friends, it could be your everlasting moment to turn the tide and make your family prepared for the Sabbath day, for the days that come are as a Sabbath day. Those who rejoice and recharge that can walk in this wicked world for 6 days come together upon the Sabbath day with our Father to receive his great gifts and his great residence and the salt upon our lips, the covenant of David once more. Yea, mighty friends, you have to want it only with the faith of a mustard seed. And when you let your womb open and the seed come into it, and the pearls of the Orient, yea, and the oysters snap shut, and there are no more birthings, yea, until the pearl can be taken. Yea, what does that mean, mighty friends? It's a mystery upon your heart that only a Hebrew private eye that come out of Mystery Babylon might find out one day. So I send my love, and mighty Father, protect all the truckers of the land with the mighty angels of the earth, the elect hosts that do the righteousness and truth in the hearts and minds of men. Yea, let these reapers go forth and remove the flaps and rejoice in the hearts and minds of everlasting moments that come forth to do the work their Father made mention that no word was ever written upon.